Nature Cat, backyard explorer extraordinaire! Tally-ho! Tally-ho!
Hi everybody, I'm Ava. I'm a youth camp counselor and program volunteer here at Five Rivers Metro Parks. Welcome to Nature Cat Camp, where we virtually explore our local parks and challenge you to explore the nature right outside your window. We have a fun day at camp planned for you, so let's get started. Are you ready? Everybody say, tally-ho! Today is one of my very favorite nature camp days. Today we are going to follow and explore a creek here at Five Rivers Metro Parks. Discover some of the creatures that live there and why creeks are so important to the earth and to each of us. But before we get started, have you ever wondered where creeks and streams start? Nature Cat and his friends are wondering the same thing. Let's check in with them as the journey to discover where the stream begins.
Getting there, and ta-da!
Top-notch work, Daisy! Ha-ha!
So streams can go underground and re-emerge somewhere else. It's amazing!
Yes! And now we're back on the stream's trail. Nothing can stop us now. Tally-ho! Except this tree. Ow!
Saw that one coming. Hey! Where are you guys headed?
To find out where it all begins.
Well, first, there was this huge explosion, and...
Hey, I know that story! No, sorry, I should clarify. Not that. To find out where this stream begins.
Oh, I never thought about that. Hey, fellas, Nature Cat here's trying to find the beginning of the stream.
The beginning of the stream? Oh, I wonder what's there.
You gotta tell us what you find.
Good luck on the adventure.
Yeah, good luck.
Thanks, all you frogs and salamanders and all of you.
Hey, you forgot about crayfish. Hi, Mr. Crayfish.
Ouch, 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 ow! Ow, 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 ow!
Help me! Oh, I'm okay!
Hey, will you please let us know what you find out, Nature Cat?
Of course! Whoa, ho, ho, ho!
Oh, it's beautiful.
So is this it? Is this the beginning of the stream?
It's gotta be.
But where does the water falling from the waterfall come from?
We need to find out! We need to get up there and take a look. Follow me! Tally-ho! Huh. The stream continues. And so do we! Onward and yonward!
Hey, look, the stream's smaller.
And it's so much rockier up here.
You can say that again.
Sure is colder up here.
Hey, do you think the beginning of the stream is on the other side of these trees?
It's gotta be.
What? A huge snowy mountain peak? Now how are we gonna find the beginning of our stream with a huge snowy mountain peak in the way?
Nature Cat, I think we found the beginning.
Where? I don't see it. Is it behind me? Where?
Here, the snowy peak.
So interesting. The snow melts and flows down the mountain in a tiny stream that joins in with other tiny streams to make a bigger stream.
Hi, beginning of stream. It's me, Hal. Nice to meet you.
Another quest completed. Number 107. Where does the stream begin? Right here up on the mountain, from the melting snow.
We
We did it, team! Way to go, everybody! We found the beginning! But where does the stream end? I can't see that far.
Well, me either.
Me neither.
Me either, neither, too, also.
Interesting, right? By following the stream, Nature Cat and his friends discovered that it started with the melting snow from the mountains. And where did that snow come from? It came from the sky, right? So when you think about it, actually, you could say that the stream started in the sky. Since we don't have mountains here where we live, where do you think the water in our creeks comes from? Well, all of the water in our creeks comes from the sky too, but mostly in the form of rain and some melting snow in the spring. When it rains here, the water flows over the ground and eventually joins one spot to form a creek. So that's how creeks are started. Here now is a word from today's nature sponsor, rain. Now that we know where the creeks start, let's explore one with our guides here at Five Rivers Metro Parks. This is gonna be so cool. Let's go. Hi, Erin.
Thanks, Ava. I'm here with my friend Joshua, and we are out exploring the creek. It's one of our favorite things to do in the summer, and it's perfect because it is so cool and refreshing on those warm summer days. Also, there's so much for us to discover and play with in this creek. Now, an important thing is I wouldn't want to get in this creek if I couldn't see my feet or if the water was running really fast. But lucky for us, today it is calm and clear. Perfect for exploring. So let's go see what we can find.
Now, when you first get into your neighborhood creek, you might not see a lot of creatures, but that's just because they're really good at hiding. There are animals all around us, and the best way to go looking for them is to actually get in the water. Now, what I like to have on my feet are not sandals or my bare feet because I don't want to get hurt. The best thing is just a pair of old tennis shoes like what I got here. Oh, look at that. Oh, the water coming out of it. And I also like to take a net and maybe a little container, but the best tool that you have available is your hands. You really don't need a lot except for maybe some foot protection, a little bit of enthusiasm, and a creek to go exploring.
Whatever you decide to bring to the creek, make sure that you keep it with you. And try not to drop it in the creek or this happens. What did you find?
Well, Erin, I just caught an incredibly beautiful fish. You know, right here in Dayton Metro Parks in our streams, we have so many fish that just put tropical fish to shame, and this is one of them. Just check out its beautiful colors. All the colors of the rainbow. You got red, orange, blue, green, yellow. And in fact, if you were a researcher first exploring this land and these creeks and found this fish, you might give it the name rainbow darter. It is beautiful. And just look at those big pectoral fins, those side fins that it has right below its eye. They really need those to move around in this really fast flowing water. And when you find these guys, they are a real good indicator. They tell us that this creek is really clean because they can only live in clean water. Well, we're going to go ahead and let this guy go so it can live out its days. Bye-bye, little fish.
A great place to look for creatures in the creek is underneath rocks. A lot of creatures use rocks as their home and they live under there. But also creatures can use them as a great hiding place. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a look under this rock and see what we can find. But we're gonna be careful and flip this rock towards us in case there's any creatures under there that we might startle. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we can find. Oh look, I see a crawldad down here. Now I've got my crawldad, but before I come show it to you a little bit better, I want to be very careful in putting this rock back down because there may be some creatures under here still that I can't see, and I don't want to accidentally squish them. So I'm going to put this back very gently. Now, one of the first things that you're probably noticing about this crawldad, and some people call them crayfish, are his pinchers. So you can see those large pinchers that he has, and they can seem a little bit scary at first, but they're actually really important for this crawldad. They help him hold on to rocks and catch and eat his food. So it's almost like he's swimming around with his own fork and knife ready to eat all the time. Now, we're going to go ahead and let this guy go for now. So I'm going to go back to the rock where we found him. And we are going to just very carefully put him near this rock so he has an option to go underneath if he wants, but we're not going to accidentally squish him either. So, goodbye, little crawdad.
Oh, wow.
What'd you find?
I found a spider.
What?
It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Look at this guy. How he's just moving around on my hand. He's not going to hurt me, but many people, including my own mom and dad, when they see spiders, they want to squish them. They're really scared of spiders. But look at this guy. He's not hurting me. And what's really fun is just the different ways that spiders catch their prey. Now, many spiders around your home probably build webs to catch their food, but this guy is kind of like a cheetah. He's called a wolf spider, and he runs after his prey and chases it down and gobbles him up. And thankfully, there are a number of these guys out here because they eat a lot of bugs that eat us. So I really love these spiders because they go around and they eat the things that might try to get us. So I'm going to let Mr. Spider go here. Well, what did you find, Erin?
I just found a couple of my favorite creatures. Now, a lot of people might see these and think that they're a snake or a lizard, but they are actually salamanders, and they are so cool. Can you get a look at those beady eyes and little toes that they have? They are so neat. And these guys you'll often find along the edges of the creek, in the rocks, but sometimes you can actually find them in the creek as well, and those are typically the babies, and they will have gills right along the side of their head, and that's how you can tell. But if you get a salamander and to get a closer look at it, you want to be really careful because just like you and me, they have bones and you wouldn't want to accidentally hurt them. Also, you want to make sure that your hands are wet so you don't accidentally wipe off some of their protective slime. Joshua, what if this creek smelled? Would you want to play in it then?
No, probably not, Erin, because if it smelled, it's probably polluted, and then it might hurt me, and then also it probably wouldn't have the beautiful creatures like the rainbow darters and the salamanders and other things that we caught, because they just can't live in polluted water.
Yeah, and you know, I bet that these creatures that we found probably wouldn't like that water either. These are macroinvertebrates, and these little insects can be found on the underside of rocks. And what's really cool about them is that they have an incredible story to tell because they can help us test and understand how clean the water is. Just how you go to the doctor for checkups, we can also give our streams checkups to see how healthy they are, and the types of macroinvertebrates that we find, like what we have here, can actually help us determine that. Some macroinvertebrates need really clean water in order to survive, while others, like mosquitoes, can live in less clean water.
Well, you know, Erin, this reminds me of a really neat story that we like to share called the water story. Some of you might know it as the water cycle, and it all begins in the children's bedrooms all across the planet. Because when you wake up, you probably do something that a lot of other kids do. You wake up, you throw the covers off, you take that morning stretch, and then you get this funny feeling inside of you that you have to do something. It's okay, you can say it. Pee. Every human on the planet has to do it, and we go to the bathroom, we go to that special chair that's filled up with water, and then we kind of turn that yellow, and then we flush the toilet. But then where does it go from there? most houses all across the planet are interconnected through this network of pipes. And so your pee goes and mixes with your neighbor's pee, and then the supermarket, and then the library, and the fire department, and your local school. Everybody's pee is coming together in this nice little slurry, and then it goes to your local water treatment plant where it gets kind of cleaned by nature. And then when it's clean enough, then it goes into your local river, and then your local river might take it to another river, and then another river, until eventually it'll end up in the ocean. And there's where cool stuff starts happening, because then a whale swims through your pee. A plant takes a little bit of it and it grows, but then a turtle comes by and eats the plant, then poops out your pee, until finally your pee is moving through thousands of plants and animals, until some of it reaches the surface of the ocean and meets the all-powerful ball in the sky we call the sun. And your pee rises into the air and turns into a puffy white thing called a cloud, and then the cloud blows over the United States until finally it comes right over you, and it gets dark, and then it rains, and then your pee falls from the sky, and it gives a drink to all of the plants and animals that we have all around. But then we have another network of pipes that soak it up from the ground, or maybe take it from the rivers, and then we clean it a little bit, and then we make it go back to your houses in water lines that go up to maybe your refrigerator, or your water faucet, or your drinking fountain at school. And that's where I filled this guy up. I'm just going to take a drink. Well, you know how many times this water has been through a human being already? It's hard to tell depending on where you're at, but probably about 5 to 7 times. We're all kind of drinking every animal's and every human's pee over and over again through this water cycle. But I know you're probably thinking that this is pretty gross, and I can understand that. But this is where it's really neat, because we're like brothers and sisters. We're connected to these plants. Water is going to come out of these plants and then eventually come into me one day. And then the water that comes out of me is going to go into these plants and to keep them healthy. So whatever I do to this creek water right here, who am I hurting? That's right. I'm hurting myself, and I'm hurting all of nature all around. So it's really important that we keep our water clean.
When I'm finished exploring the creatures in the creek, sometimes I like to just play and use my imagination, which, that gives me an idea. Remember when I grabbed that container earlier and it started to go down the creek? What if we made boats and raced them?
That sounds like a really cool idea.
Let's go make them.
We just created our boats with clay and wood. I'm going to name this guy Mr. Crawldad.
And here is my boat, and I'm calling mine Mrs. Salamander. And I think my boat's going to win.
Oh, I don't know. Mr. Crawldad's pretty fast. Okay, let's go ahead and give Mr. Crawldad a try and see how he floats on the water. All right. Oh, he just went down like a submarine. Wow, that's pretty cool. Let's go see how your boat does.
Let's see if Mrs. Salamander can stay afloat a little bit longer. Here we go. Oh, didn't make it far at all.
All right, I just found a flat piece of bark. I'm wondering how it goes down the stream. Wow, pretty good. Man, that's just floating right down there. Pretty neat. What do you got, Erin?
I've got a stick that I thought we could try and see how far this stick goes. All right, here we go. It's spinning, but it's going.
Oh, not as far as the bark. It is moving,
stuck.
though. Wow. I bet you if we just left that stick and that piece of bark there, who knows? Maybe it would go to the ocean. But another fun thing that I like to do in the creek?
What?
Is build a dam out of big flat rocks.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we just got to be careful that we're not going to disturb a lot of creatures when we do it, but otherwise it should be a lot of fun.
That sounds like a great idea. Let's get started.
Sounds good. Wow, look at that. We really did a great job. I mean, the water is really starting to build up here.
Yeah, it's kind of like when a beaver builds a dam. But, you know, I was thinking, just like we thought about the different creatures when we built this dam, you know, we really kind of altered where they live right now and some of their homes. We might have actually moved. I think maybe we should put some of these rocks back.
I agree. Let's go ahead and get started.
All right, let's go.
Well, that was fun.
It sure was, and it looks like we're not the only ones out here enjoying the creek today.
Oh my gosh, you got a fish. Let's go check it out. Hey, can we see your fish?
Sorry. I was just letting him go, actually.
Oh.
I'd rather him get in the water before he's out of the water for too long.
Yeah, he is pretty. Well, we caught a rainbow darter here just a little bit ago.
That's fantastic.
So is this your first time here?
So it's actually been a long time since I've come back here. I used to come here when I was a little kid, but I've spent a lot of time fishing these deep pools, and it's really become one of my favorite spots.
Oh, me too. So what do you normally like to do when you come here besides fish?
So, like I said, when I was younger, I used to come here a lot, but I would mostly spend time, you know, turning over rocks and just looking at the creek inhabitants and all the critters and just listening to the birds because it's such a peaceful place.
That's really neat.
Well, if you catch another one, just let us know.
Definitely. Great seeing you guys out here.
Hey, take care.
You too.
Well, it looks like somebody found our spot.
Let's go say hi and see what she's doing. Hi, when did you get here?
Not too long ago.
What are you doing? It looks like you're having a lot of fun.
I'm making plates with a leaf imprint and also animals. This is a sea turtle. It is most commonly found in the ocean.
Wow, those are really cool.
Would you like to play with me?
I would love to, but first, I need to say goodbye to some of my new friends. We had a lot of fun exploring the creek with you today. And what's really neat is that this creek that Joshua and I explored today is actually connected to your creek, just like we learned about in the water story. Also, what's so neat about our creeks is that they're different every day and you never know what you're gonna find. And that's what makes them so much fun. So get out and explore your neighborhood creeks. Just check with your parents and make sure it's safe to enter. Have fun!
Didn't I tell you that was going to be cool? Thanks again, Erin and Joshua. You gave us a lot to think about when we go to explore creeks on our own. Did you like the part when they were building the dam across the creek? Well, if you did, I think you're going to like the next part of Nature Camp too, as we take a look at the famous dam builders found in nature, just like Erin mentioned.
Beavers are vegetarians. They gnaw through bark to eat the sugary layer underneath. They've been gnawing through forests for 20 million years. Felling trees with your teeth takes great strength, skill, and patience. One technique is to slice halfway through and let the wind do the rest. The beaver's incisors are strengthened with iron, which makes them orange. They grow continuously and even self-sharpen. The pond makes it easier to move around the heavy logs they need to build their dams. Out of the water, it's a struggle. Stones help weigh down the base. The whole family works together, carefully interlocking the timber. They dredge mud from the pond bottom to seal the dam. Each pond traps several inches of sediment every year, so there's plenty of it. The young act as apprentice builders, learning the tricks of the trade. The final results are impressive. In the Rocky Mountains, beaver dams slowly filter billions of tons of water. The ponds build up soil and nutrients and help prevent floods and droughts.
Beavers sure are like nature's construction workers, right? See if you know these other fun facts about beavers. Did you know that once the dams are completed and ponds formed, beavers will work on building their homes in the middle of a dam? These are called lodges. These dome-shaped lodges, like the dams, are constructed with branches and mud, and they have underwater entrances, making entry tough for predators. And get this, adult beavers are around 3 feet long, have been known to weigh 50 pounds, and can live up to 24 years in the wild. I bet you didn't know that beavers were talkative too, did you? Do you know what the beaver said to the tree? It's been nice gnawing you. A little nature camp humor for you. What did you think when Erin and Joshua floated the boats they made on the creek? Or at least tried to. That looks like fun, right? They made their boats out of clay, and they sank. But if you remember, that plastic bowl just kept going on. So let's use this observation for today's activity, where you can learn how to make your own boat out of recycled materials, and you can see if your boat sinks or floats. Check this out. When you go to build your boat, check out our website for the instructions. Five Rivers Metro Parks offers many ways for adventure and recreation. The lakes, ponds, and rivers here have a lot of fish life. Whether you're fishing from a bass boat, paddling a fishing kayak, wading in the water, or sitting in the shade on the banks, fishing is a great way to connect with nature. So today's virtual recreation adventure is, you guessed it, fishing. Let's go!
It's squirming.
No. Scar, at least you caught a fish. Oh, shoot.
I'm so left-handed. I'm left-handed, but I need to throw right.
Good job. No, don't take it off. Just touch it.
Yeah.
Jacob said.
I was determined.
Got more
Oh, he a good one. He coming in. It's that is a good one.
Your drag set good?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh.
Make sure that drag is loose because he gonna pull hard when he get in the end, in the front.
Okay.
It's loose?
Yeah.
Loosen it up a little bit. Not that silver part, bro. There you go. There you go. Working some. There you go. Bring them on up. Go down and get him. I got you right.
Oh, thank you.
Don't grab the line. Grab him by the mouth.
So what's working?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so. So what's working?
Doesn't that just make you want to get out in nature and play? We are so glad you joined us for another great day at camp. We learned a lot about nature by exploring creeks and waterways. I hope you can use what you learned to explore creeks where you live or come to the parks and explore everything there is to offer here. Don't forget to write your creek adventures in your journal. And if you can't get to a creek for a while, you can write what you observed in today's virtual field trip. As you know, at the end of each day at camp, we take a virtual trip to some of the national parks found here in America. We can explore and observe with our pretend binoculars. All you have to do is move close enough to the screen so that when you're looking through your binoculars, you can't see anything but the screen. If you have not made your binoculars yet, you can use your hands like this. So let's explore, and we hope to see you again for more fun at Nature Camp. Bye!